Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are having a good Friday. It is November 6th. So today we're going to be talking about the tropics once again because it's still early. It's early November now, and we still have tropical activity. And we're going to be talking about our upcoming winter storms because we do have a upcoming pretty large winter storm that's going to be hitting areas of the northern plains and areas of the Rockies early next week, Sunday and Monday. So that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Yes, please consider subscribing and please leave a like. I would really appreciate it. Let's get started. So right now, this is our visible satellite for a pretty large area. We can see we have Tropical Depression Eta right down here. So the whole U.S. is pretty clear, especially the central and the eastern. Looks like we have some fog in the central U.S. probably. It looks like fog. And in the eastern U.S., we just have some clouds, some upper-level clouds. Pretty much from areas like Mississippi all the way up in areas in Maine. And then there's probably some mid-level clouds mixed in Maine also. And then we have our storm system in the west. We can take a look at water vapor now. It's at mid-level because mid-level is the best in my opinion. You can see we have a lot of dry. It's very dry in Texas. In that area in the central U.S. We can see Eta down here. Very moist. We have greens on the water vapor. And we have our storm system in the west, which we also have some greens in Wyoming because of that. Now let's get started with looking at actual tropical depression Eta. So it is still a tropical depression with 35 mile per hour winds. It is moving northeast at 7 miles per hour. So this is moving pretty slow. Forecasted to become a tropical storm by this afternoon, and then we already have tropical storm watches out for Cuba, and these yellow colors are tropical storm watches, as this is supposed to hit Cuba as a tropical storm. And then it's going to impact Key West and areas like South Florida and move up into the eastern Gulf and continue to impact Florida. This is probably going to hit or impact Florida a lot, especially South Florida, and eventually Central Florida also could get impacted by this. We also have tropical storm warnings out for some islands in the south of Cuba now. That's what Eta is doing. Let's look at the GFS now. So the GFS has it hitting central Cuba. So the GFS has it hitting central Cuba, hitting Miami pretty hard. It's probably a Category 1. And then moving east and hitting Orlando and Tampa. So if this does happen, this would probably be a pretty bad scenario. It would be better if it didn't hit Tampa and did that. That's more likely. But if it does hit Tampa like that, that would not be good. So you can see then it kind of weakens across Florida and gets up into it gets sucked up into a cold front and moves into the east. And then we have some more activity. And why are we taking a sounding? All right. But so that is the GFS. The GFS really has not changed much. Let's look at the Canadian now. The Canadian has this thing doing a really similar thing to the US or as the GFS. Hitting central Cuba and going up and hitting Miami. It does not hit Miami as a hurricane, though, likely only a tropical storm. So that would be better. And then it does not make a second landfall in Florida. It kind of just weakens in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. And then it looks like I might hit some shear or something. Yeah, looks like shear. That's what the Canadian has. So a completely different thing than the GFS. And then the European. Let's take a look at the European. So the European has this thing doing pretty much a similar thing to the Canadian, although it doesn't have it weakening completely. It still has it existing once it makes landfall again. So we're gonna have to see what that actually does. More updates in tomorrow's video as it gets closer to when this could actually impact the U.S. because the models are kind of uncertain. But I think as of right now, the models are pretty certain that it's likely going to kind of do a track like this. But where it goes after this, does it hit Tampa, go up here, or is it going to the Gulf and weaken in that area and just get sucked up into a cold front or get sheared? I don't really know yet because we have 3 completely different scenarios with these models. But we are pretty positive that it's going to hit central Cuba and move to the northwest and likely impact the Keys and impact South Florida. So, yes. But where it goes after that, could it hit central Florida or could it hit the Florida Panhandle? We'll have to see. But yeah, now let's switch topics. We have an upcoming winter storm, of course. We've been talking about this for a very long time. So yeah, let's actually go up to that. So you can see this has remained pretty much in the same area as yesterday's video. It actually has shifted back west a little bit, but we are still likely going to see some blizzard conditions for this area right here. As you guys can see, we have very heavy snow and very strong winds with low pressure, kind of in northern Montana Sunday afternoon. So yeah, it's going to be probably one of the worst winter storms of the season so far for northern Montana. And then it moves into Canada and brings some snow for areas of Canada. And our second winter storm has uptrended a little bit. We actually have some snow on the backside of our second winter storm. And could we have a chance for severe weather? I don't know. Or yeah, maybe. Stick some soundings. All right, so this one is we have a good do. 63 is good enough. Sheer is not good. Upper levels are okay. But we do not have good CAPE. The CAPE would probably be higher than what the GFS is showing, though. GFS, in my opinion, does underdo CAPE. Let's take one for like St. Louis here, in front of this by the low pressure. All right, so we have a little bit more CAPE, not enough though, and we have a dew point in the upper 50s. But yeah, so we could be seeing in the little second round of snow, maybe some mixing of snow in kind of this area right here, as we can see. And yeah, that's pretty much about it with that winter storm. Not really a big deal, not really like widespread not widespread snowfall, but we could be seeing some snowfall with that. So yeah, that's going to be our second one. Now, do we have any? Let's see if we have any more winter storms next week. Maybe a Clipper. It could bring some areas like Iowa. I don't know if that's been consistent or not, but yeah, we don't. That's not really a big deal. So if that is consistent, we can talk about it a little bit, but not in today's video. Oh yeah, so let's look at snowfall totals with the GFS and see how they've changed. So snowfall totals with the GFS. So with our little winter storm right here, isolated totals up to 3 inches probably. If you get in a heavier band, maybe even up to 4. Yeah, so we could be seeing a little bit of snow. Then our first winter storm, though, look at this, 30 inches in some areas in northern Montana. So yes, this is going to be probably one of the biggest snowstorms of the season, potentially for northern Montana, unless we get another massive snowstorm for northern Montana, which is possible. We probably are going to get another one of those. This is probably going to be one of the most heaviest snowfalls of the season for this area right here. So yeah, let me see. We could even have a lot of snow in Canada with that too, like 25 inches in Canada. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty big snowstorm. I don't know if it's going to get named by the Weather Channel. It's not affecting a whole lot of areas. It's affecting pretty much Montana and the Rockies. We'll have to see, though. It does have that chance of getting named. Now, let's take a look at the Canadian for this, because let's see what we actually have. So with snowfall with the Canadian, let's go to surface and precipitation. Let's see what the Canadian has with that. So the Canadian also has likely some blizzard conditions in Montana. It has a little bit more mixing, or actually, yeah, it has more sleet than the GFS in northeastern Montana. Yeah, so let's take a look at snowfall totals with that. We're going to use the error ratio. That's better, in my opinion. All right, so yeah, it's really similar to the GFS now. We have pretty much up to 30 inches in northern Montana and 1 to 5 inches in some areas in northwestern North Dakota. So yeah, and then our second winter storm, the Canadian, actually has a big winter storm. Actually, we have 10 inches in northern Nebraska. So there's still a little bit of uncertainty with our second winter storm on how much snow this could actually bring. So yeah, we're probably going to be looking at some snow with our second winter storm. Also, Canadian right now has a decent amount of snow. I do think that this will bring some snow probably to Minneapolis, like a trace, and it'll probably hit cities in eastern South Dakota. I think it's Sioux City or something. I don't know. There's 2 of them. But yeah, so we have northern Nebraska could probably get a decent amount of snow if this actually happens how it is right now. If we have too much cold and dry air in, as the GFS is showing, then we're probably not going to have a lot of snowfalls, and it's going to be a more dry system. So now let's look at the European. Let's see if the European also has a blizzard for northern Montana. All right, so the European does not have it definitely as bad as the Canadian, the GFS, but it likely could have a little bit of blizzard conditions. I don't know though. Doesn't really look too good, but yeah, it has it a little bit further to the east, so areas like North Dakota could get in on a little bit more maybe. But yeah, so we have a lot of consistency of this first winter storm. Northern Montana is probably going to get hit the hardest with a lot of snow, maybe even probably up to 2 feet in some areas. And then yeah, so let's take a look at that's our second winter storm. That's our second winter storm actually being a decent looking storm for Minnesota on the backside of this, maybe even some decent snow cover or some decent snowfall. Sorry, can't talk today. But it doesn't have it as bad for Nebraska, but it has it pretty bad for Minnesota. Let's take a look at snowfall accumulations with that. Oh yeah, so snowfall accumulations is a foot in central Minnesota, and we have widespread totals up to widespread totals of a foot plus in areas of Montana, and North Dakota we have up to around 5 inches in extreme northwestern North Dakota. So yeah, I do think that the GFS might start the uptrend on snowfall amounts for this area, because we have 2 models now that are saying we're actually going to have decent snowfall. I think the GFS by tomorrow's video will be showing a little bit more. But I do think this winter storm right here is going to probably be one of the worst ones for the year for this area of maybe some blizzard conditions. So we'll have to see if we actually get blizzard warnings out for that. But yeah, that's up with this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow. But yes, bye.